This is actually a pooled analysis of two different Ceritinib studies, Ascend-1, which was the phase 1 trial, and Ascend-3, which was a phase 2 study. And in this analysis, we actually pooled the data on patients who had not received a prior ALK inhibitor. So these were Ceritinib naive or TKI naive patients. So the focus of the work I presented here was TKI naive patients and patients who had brain metastases. So we're focusing on a very specific population. And what I presented was that the response rate of Ceritinib in this group of patients is quite high. So the systemic response rate was about 60%, 60 to 65% from these two studies. But I think what was particularly interesting was that the intracranial response rate in those patients with measurable brain mets was also about 60%. So this suggests that Ceritinib really does have quite potent CNS activity. We're achieving, a response rate that's in the brain that seems comparable to what we're achieving in the body. The median duration of response in the brain was also quite prolonged at about 8 months. And so I think this just provides further support that next generation ALK inhibitors are very active in the frontline setting, including in patients with brain metastases. And these next generation ALK inhibitors like Ceritinib are also very effective in inducing real durable responses in the brain. Ceritinib currently is approved just for patients who have failed on Crizotinib. But Ascend-1 and 3 really has really new data about how active Ceritinib is in the frontline setting. The challenging thing here is that you typically can't prescribe Ceritinib in the frontline setting at this point, but at least we know that if we had a patient, for example, who presented with brain metastases, newly diagnosed, Crizotinib is standard, but for a patient like that, we might want to consider a more brain penetrable agent up front, and that could be Ceritinib or it could be Alectinib based on the ALK data.